Hi, this is Annie of ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Thank you so much for joining us today for Live with Annie. As usual, we've started the stream a bit early. This helps us get everything set up and broadcasting properly to our various platforms. You can find a countdown clock on the screen showing how long it will be until we actually go live. While you wait, please connect with us and other viewers in the chat. Let us know where you are from and whether you're a new or longtime viewer. We'll see you live soon! Again for joining us for Live with Annie. We are so happy to have you with us today. While you wait for the program to start, we hope you'll enjoy the content playing on screen. There's so much inspiration, so take a moment to tell us what you love in the chat. Don't forget there is a countdown clock on the screen so you know how long until we go live. Hi, it's Annie again, reminding you that we'll be going live with this week's episode shortly. There is a countdown clock on the screen showing how much time is left. You've got just enough time to grab some water or a beverage of your choice and a snack, and to connect with us in the chat. We'd love to hear what you've been working on this week. It's Annie, back to remind you that we'll be starting this week's live very shortly. We've got a really fun episode planned for today, and we'll see you soon. Hi, I'm Annie of ByAnnie.com and Patterns by Annie. Thank you so much for joining us for Episode 3 of Season 4 of Live with Annie. In today's episode, we're going to show you By Annie projects that we and others have made incorporating people. It's a great way to add character to a project. We're going to focus on projects made using fabrics with people in the design. You will be amazed at the variety and creativity of ways to use the same fabrics. If you enjoyed these episodes, please take a minute to follow us wherever you are watching. And if you know someone else who you think might enjoy the information that we share, we would really love it if you'd tell them about Live with Annie. The easiest way to do that is to just tag them while you're watching, because that will take them directly to the episode and they can watch it too. Also, we love reading your comments, so please be sure to interact with us throughout this presentation. Tell us what you think about what we're showing, share your tips and tricks, and tell us the projects you are working on. We want to know what you think, and we love learning from you too. Be sure to add any questions you might have in the comments or chat, and we'll do our best to answer them before we close. Last week, we talked more about this month's challenge and shared some ideas to help you get started, suggesting ways that you might incorporate words into a project. We even shared tips for making improvisational letters to add words to a project using scraps of fabric in your sewing machine. If you missed that or want to watch it again, remember that you can find all the previous 140 episodes of Live with Annie on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, or at ByAnnie.com. And we've put up the links to make them easy for you to find. Quick drink before we get started. So today I'm going to share some ideas for ways that you can add character to your ByAnnie projects by incorporating people in the design. The easiest way to do this is to simply use fabric that has people printed on it, but you can include photos of people or people that you've created using a variety of techniques. I had planned to share some tips for creating people using raw edge fusible applique today, but time got away from me and we're just going to have to save that for another time. But no worries, we still have plenty of inspiration to share today. So we're going to talk about things you'll need to consider when using fabrics with predominant motifs, such as how to position them, how to quilt them, and more. In 2020, the Jaftex Corporation celebrated their 90th birthday, which is incredibly impressive. To commemorate the occasion, they printed some special fabrics that included photos of various members of the Fortunoff family who have been part of the company through the years. We were pleased to make a number of ByAnnie projects using these fabrics, which we presented to Scott Fortunoff, the Jaftex president. We incorporated the family in a number of bags, combining it with more plain fabrics for handles, borders, and accents. If you'd like to make a project featuring family photos, there are numerous methods to print photos onto fabric using your own printer. You'll need to scan the photos into your computer and then print them onto fabric. You can iron your fabric to a freezer paper to enable it to be fed into a computer. Alternatively, you could have the fabric printed by a company such as Spoonflower. They print on a variety of substrates and provide information on their website for uploading your design. I would expect that their printing methods would give you a more long-lasting design and a fabric that could be laundered. So that's something you could check out. An easier way to incorporate people into your ByAnnie projects is to use a fabric that already has people printed on it. They probably won't be people that you know personally, but they will certainly add something different to your project. So this undercover sewing machine cover, catch-all caddy, and set of pocket packers were all made with a fun fabric called Little Sewist, and it was designed by a company called Little Lizard King for Michael Miller. So that group of designers is a team of mothers and daughters who love to sew. And incidentally, they are the largest seller of sewing patterns for children's clothing on Etsy. The inspiration for the fabric line originated with their children and a love for the creative process, custom clothing, and classic styles. I loved seeing how they photographed their own children in the same poses as were on the fabric. So it's obvious that the kids were a huge inspiration for the line. Check out their blog and lookbook for some amazing photos. Though they used the fabrics primarily for children's garments, we thought they were perfect for projects for our sewing room, and they always make me smile. So I just wanted to share a little bit about kind of how we did it. We took on the pocket that had 2 divisions, we tried to put it so that we had kids on each side of that. On the one that had 3 divisions, we centered a main motif in the middle and then put the threads on the side. So you need to kind of consider the fabric as you're deciding what you want to put where and how to focus it. On this set of pocket packers, we thought they were really nicely split apart in the 2-pocket version. The other versions, we just used other fabrics from the line, so only this version has people on it. And then we just kind of cut how I think pretty much however it fell out for this undercover sewing machine cover. But that's a really fun way, especially if you've got a fabric that matches your decor and children on it. So that I thought was a really fun one. All right, now check out this artsy payday that Barbara made for her sister who loves Paris and Impressionist style artists. Barbara used a panel that she'd purchased several years ago. It depicts Renoir's dance at the Moulin De La Galette, I have no idea how to say French, and is perfect for this project. Barbara said, "I was hesitant to cut it up since I had not worked with fussy cutting to put focal prints together. It took a lot of thinking, prayer, and guts to make the first cut. I kept thinking about all the hints and encouragement you give in your videos and decided to give it a try, and I thought it turned out pretty well." I loved reading that and agree that you did a magnificent job, Barbara. That is such a cool fabric. For others who'd like to use a design such as that, be sure to watch the add-on videos for the pattern that you are considering. If we used any fabrics that needed to be fussy cut, which we always try to do, we usually include some tips for placement and things to consider. In more recent patterns, that info is in the A Closer Look video. In older videos, it may have been part of an introduction or the overview or cutting videos. And you'll find the A Closer Look video on the pattern's product page. And when you purchase the add-on video for the project, you'll also find that video in your digital library as part of the add-on video for the project. All right, we can't talk about People on Fabrics without showing some bags made with fabrics designed by the always amazing Tula Pink. She is really the master of creating knock-your-eye-out fabrics with mind-blowing designs and fabulous colors that just take everything up a notch. So next we are going to take a little walk down memory lane as we look at a number of models we and others have made with Tula's lines. And we are going to start with a fun little set of meshing around that we made using Tula's De La Luna line, which came out in 2018. And so we used the eyes for the small one, the flowers for the medium one, and then the lady who is printed on the fabric for the large one. I really love how the face looked under the black mesh pocket. It reminded me of a little veil over her face. The tip for working with a fabric with a predominant motif such as this is positioning the design on the desired piece to make the most impact and making sure you have room to do the design justice. So for this pattern, the face really only worked on the large bag. There wasn't enough room to include it on the smaller medium. But again, we loved using those coordinating prints for the line, and that really makes a full fun set. Sometimes too much of one design can be overwhelming, so mixing it up keeps things interesting. So again, that is our pattern Meshing Around, made with De La Luna. And this is designed to be a little drawstring bag that you can carry things in and then carry as a backpack. And 3 different sizes that comes in. We used Tula's Curiouser and Curiouser, that is a hard name to say, fabric, which came out in 2021 for several projects, including this switchback bag. So this bag has numerous pockets to organize everything you need. There's a welt pocket and a slip pocket on the front, and then additional pockets on the inside. You can carry this over the shoulder or crossbody, or you can by pulling up on the strap, or you can pull down on those and convert it to a backpack just by adjusting the straps. So we designed this pattern to have a color block style arrangement on both the front and on the back, and we fussy cut these faces of Alice and paired them with the dripping roses for these pieces. We did our best to center the designs in each section, and by using a more solid fabric for the body of the bag, your attention was really directed to these focus fabrics. When we quilted this, we didn't want to have quilting lines going through Alice's face. So I learned from Tula and used a diamond design to quilt those pieces, positioning the diamonds so that they framed her face. And then we did the same design on the dripping roses to kind of mimic that same pattern. We used Alice again on a small tools of the trade that we made. And this time we featured her face just on this front pocket. And then for the large tools of the trade, we used the red queen, so the queen of diamonds. So this bag is perfect for carrying your large cutting mat and tools when you go to class. So the small bag is going to hold up to a 12 by 18 inch mat. I didn't actually put a mat in here, but there's a padded sleeve here. You can put up to an 18 by 24 mat and a ruler up to 20.5 inches or 24 by 18 in the back pocket. And then you've got pockets here and little dividers to put all your different tools. There's a full mesh pocket on this side and then this padded divider with all the other pockets on this side. If you want more organization inside here, our pocket packers pattern is a really good way to carry additional tools and supplies. And so you can put 2 of them standing up inside the big one. If you're doing the small one, you can do one going sideways. And here is one that we designed again using the Alice fabric. So that's a fun way to coordinate a whole bunch of pieces and have lots of ways to organize all your tools and make them easy to carry. I have struggled carrying rulers and things to class and had them fall out of my bag or my hand, and this is just a nice way to keep everything in one place, contained and safe, and padding all around it. All right. So here's another bag. Lots of people use this Curiouser and Curiouser fabric. So check out this set of clam-up bags that Julie made using the Red Queen for clamshells or clam-ups. Julie fussy cut the queen and followed the instructions in the pattern for using directional fabrics so that the same design appears on the front and back of each bag. Because the bags range in size, Julie allowed the queen to show her individuality on each bag. Sometimes she highlighted the rose in her hair, sometimes the Q in the Queen of Hearts. Each one of her bags has a laminated interior, which makes the bags easy to wipe clean, and Julie used Sammy Messick's binding hack to add a binding along the zipper of each bag. She quilted the bags with a 1-inch crosshatch diamond design and added the optional swivel hook to the extra small bag so that it could be hung from another bag to hold keys. Turned out really beautifully. Elizabeth made a matching set of Easy Does It bags, modifying the size to accommodate what she wanted for the panels. If you want tips for how to do that, we are going to be covering all kinds of ideas for modifying and adapting ByAnnie patterns in February, so be sure to join us for Live with Annie then. Elizabeth made the side strip for each of her bags out of lavender stardust vinyl from So Hungry Hippie, so she left the soft and stable out of those pieces. I really like how she combined the vinyl with the darker quilted fabric for the zipper strips. The Red Queen was a real favorite of makers, and I love this large Totally Trendy totes too that Kelly made featuring the queen on the front pocket. Kelly adapted the pattern by skipping the top border so that more of her beautiful fabric could show. She made the top binding wider and she used a French seam on the sides. Because the fabric is directional, she pieced it in the center and then covered the seam with cute ribbon inside. You can see that her cat obviously approves. If you need any help joining directional fabrics, be sure to check out our Using Directional Fabrics video, and we'll put up the link to make it easy for you to find. Kelly also made several ultimate travel bags using the Curiouser and Curiouser fabric. As she said, I am obsessed with the queen. Kelly says one can never have too many bags, and Ultimate Travel is her absolute favorite ByAnnie bag. And I really loved seeing the variety of bags that she made. I think that dripping rose coordinate is so perfect to combine with the queen, and I loved how she used the yellow cats for the zipper strip to add some interest there. For this bag, Kelly really mixed things up. She reminded others that it's your bag and you can design it how you want. So she decided to skip the trolley sleeve on the back so that she could feature the queen on both sides. And I love that she can tell which is the front, as that one has a border and a slip zip pocket, while the back has just a bound pocket. The black and white stripe is really perfect for those bindings, and I really love how Alice fits on the pockets on each side, too. By skipping the border that's usually on those pockets, she was able to really feature the face. Kelly said she doesn't like how mesh looks on the interior pockets, so she used fabric for those and divided them in half instead of sewing over the handles to make 3 small pockets. Again, we are going to share some tips for adapting pockets in an upcoming episode of Live with Annie, so be sure to join us throughout the month of February. Kelly had some words of advice for everyone, and she said, have fun with your bags, people. Make them your own. You don't have to do everything Annie says as far as design goes. Construction, she said, is a different story. Do what she says for that part. Good advice, Kelly, and I appreciate that. All right, here's another ultimate travel bag that Kelly made using Curiouser and Curiouser in yet another colorway. So on this one, she did add the trolley sleeve and she used the teacup print. So using a different print really adds some interest to that. And check out those awesome teacup zipper pulls on the zipper strip. Kelly, she said she found those at various Etsy shops, and she loves how the teacups and roses coordinate so perfectly with the fabric line. They really were perfect. Kelly said, I'll never tire of making this bag. It has such a beautiful shape and is so useful. This won't be the last one. Well, we can't wait to see what you make next, Kelly. All right, here is an ultimate travel bag that Randy, who is our moderator for Live with Annie, made using Curiouser and Curiouser, but she used a more subdued set of prints from the line for the body of the bag and the handles. That really made the fussy cut Alice show up great on the front. So check out how Randy quilted this bag. I love how she combines lines in lots of different directions to add just a whole lot of interest. I have to have another drink here. And use that same main fabric that Randy used for the body of these Get Out of Town bags that she made for her granddaughters. And she used just different colorways. I love how she combined that print with the dripping roses. And I'm guessing she must have pieced the 2 fabrics before quilting it for the body, because you can see she's got dripping roses in the center and then the other fabric on the sides. That was a great idea that I had not thought of before. And she did a perfectly great job of fussy cutting those faces for the pockets. Anne said, I learned a lot while making these. Pattern directions and supporting videos were awesome. I loved reading that and seeing Anne's beautiful bags. Her granddaughters had to be so very thrilled when they got those. Go on down, Glow. To go with those beautiful bags, Anne also made the girls some fabulous clam-up bags. I love how she used ABC beads to add their names to the zipper pulls. So there's a great way to add some words to your bag, so keep that in mind. I showed the beads I bought last time, but I haven't used them, and I never thought to use them to make zipper pulls, so I'm gonna definitely remember that. All right, here is a lovely round trip duffel that Joyce made. She combined the red queen with the dripping roses, but she used the hexes from True Colors as her coordinate. I really think it's fun to see all the ways that people combine Tula's fabrics for these bags. Joyce did a fabulous job fussy cutting the queen for the padded shoulder straps and pockets. And she said, I love the combination of ByAnnie and Tula Pink. All my fussy cutting was worth it. I so agree. All right, here is a bag that we don't see very often, but this is a fabulous Jet Set 2 that Felicia made. This is a perfect project for carrying a round travel pillow when you travel, and it's sized to also fit a bottle of water, a book, a wallet, your boarding pass, and more. Felicia said its maiden voyage will be to watch my daughter graduate from nursing school next month. That's awesome. I love how Felicia positioned the queen differently on the 2 sides of the bag, and that black and white stripe and the turquoise solid are really great coordinating prints to go with that. Let's move on now to Tula's Parisville Deja Vu line, which came out in July of 2022. So we used Parisville to make this set of snapshot bags, and we featured the lady's face on the large bag. So as we said in the directional, or in the closer look video for this pattern, directional fabrics will work fine, and the pattern includes tips for their use. Just know that you have to put some careful thought into cutting pieces if you are using something that has a big design like this. Because of the way the bag back, so this bag is designed so that it will open and you can use it like this if you have something large to put in it, or it will fold over. And because of the way it folds over to the front, the bag, when viewed from the front, is going to show a portion of what's on the back of the bag and a portion of what's on the front. So trying to get this part lined up to match this part can be a bit challenging. Be sure to consider also that you're going to shape it and you're going to make boxed bottoms when you plan your design. And we always recommend that you make at least one bag using non-directional fabrics before you make a bag using your more precious fabrics. That way you'll have a better idea of how to do everything, how it all comes together and what you need to consider when you cut. When I did these, I made a template out of vinyl and I marked all the lines on it so I could see exactly where the pieces overlapped, and that's how I decided how to cut the fabrics. So this one we used another fabric from the line with ships. This one I have to show you on the back. There just wasn't room to put the whole lady on, so we did it so that the zipper went right down the middle of her mouth, and I love to tell her to zip it up. But that was a fun bag to make. Here is an amazing catch-all caddy that Diane made, and she did a fabulous job of matching the lady's head between the body and the pocket. I have to confess that often when I'm doing a bag like that, I will pick a different fabric for the body of the catch-all caddy and then fussy cut the focus fabric for the pockets so I don't have to deal with matching them. But she did a fabulous job. It's really stunning and very well done. All right, that brings us now to Tula's latest fabric line featuring people, which is Nightshade Deja Vu. Let me get these guys out of the way. We really fell in love with the people on this line and thought it would be perfect for one of our latest patterns, Courtside. So this fabulous bag is designed to carry pickleball paddles or tennis rackets, but it's also great for travel. I also think it would make a great diaper bag. So the pattern is designed for you to use two main fabrics. One that's used for the body and the side pockets, and then another that's used for the front and back pocket and trolley sleeve in the pattern. But on this one, we mixed it up a little bit more. We didn't want to, there's a zipper going down this front pocket. We didn't want to have the lady split between the two sides, so we just centered her on the left side of the front pocket, and then we did a black and white stripe for the right side. And I really love how that stripe just moves your eye right over to the lady. We substituted this coordinating fabric for the back pocket, and then we added another fun focus fabric from the design in a smaller scale with these little motifs on it, cameos I think these are called, for the trolley sleeve. On the inside, take some of my stuffing out of here to show you the inside. But on the inside, we used those same cameos for the fronts of the bellowed divider and also for the big zippered pocket. And to avoid having to match the design up here, we used the black and white stripe up here. So we really had a lot of fun working with that fun line, and I just love the designs on it. We weren't the only people who loved this line, and we found lots of other photos in the ByAnnie Bag Makers group. So Raquel made 2 sets of open wide 2.0 bags using Nightshade Deja Vu. On the first set, she said she couldn't decide what to do on the front, so she just made 2 fronts. And I love how she used the face for one of them. So she's got one with a border, and then on the other one she put the face. I was especially taken by the next set that she embellished by appliquing one of the smaller cameos, like these, to the front. So Raquel's mother wrote their names inside each cameo at her request, which I also thought was awesome. And Raquel used Heat and Bond to fuse those cameos to the bag, and she shared a link to an instructional video that shared tips for doing that. So we'll put that up if you're interested in learning more about that technique. Quick drink. So Missy made 3 fun Day Tripper 2 bags featuring the larger faces on the front of each. The pattern includes instructions for piecing the fabric for what becomes the front and back, because it's all one piece, to ensure that the pieces are visible where you want them to be. And check out this show-stopping travel duffel that Carol made. She said she was inspired by a bag that Tula made and that the bag is plenty big for an overnight or weekend away. Note that she featured a person facing forward for the middle pocket and then used ladies facing toward the center for the 2 outer pockets. Very well done, Carol. I really loved the black and white webbing that she used for the handles and straps too. It really adds some fun interest and would make it quick to make because you wouldn't have to cover those with fabric. Betsy made a running with scissors and used one of the large faces for the front pocket. I really loved that she turned the pocket sideways, or the fabric sideways on the pocket, to take advantage of the full size of the motif. So there's nothing that says the design has to go this way. You can certainly run it that way on a bag like that. Here is a beautiful Everyday Every Way that Elizabeth made. So Elizabeth is from the Netherlands, and she is very prolific and does beautiful work. Because the medallions were so large and there was no place for the facings to cover the magnets, Elizabeth changed the front and back pockets on this pattern to be zippered pockets instead of slip pockets with magnets. I thought that was a great idea. And here is a set of, or maybe not a set, but an out to lunch that she made. So she also used the face medallions on this. This is the small bag from the updated Out to Lunch 2.0 pattern. And Elizabeth switched things up a little bit by putting bindings on the zipper and also making a fabric pocket on the inside instead of a mesh pocket. She even made a carrying strap and pad to clip onto the triangle rings on each side. She also made a gorgeous large Totally Trendy totes too, using Nightshade. And on this one she made a number of changes. On the front, she changed the pocket from a slip pocket to a zipper pocket. And she said she had just enough fabric of the 2 Pirate Girls to add an inner zippered pocket. I thought she made great use of the fabrics on that bag. And she still wasn't done. Check out this beautiful ensemble that she made featuring the smaller cameos. So her set includes a Bowl Me Over 2.0, a laptop computer carriers, an Easy Does It, Clam Up, and Stash and Dash. And I thought she did an absolutely fabulous job of offsetting the faces on the front of the Bowl Me Over. She even centered one on the flap so that you get a fun surprise when it's opened. Note that she placed it upside down so that it's right side up when the flap is opened. And check out the decorative stitch that she used to quilt parts of the bag. I thought that was such a beautiful touch. It is really clear that Elizabeth puts a tremendous amount of thought and care into the bags she makes. All right, I enjoyed seeing the wide range of bags made using people, and I hope you did too. They certainly added a lot of character to each project. Don't forget that challenge projects for this month's challenge should be submitted to the ByAnnie photo contest by January 31st. And if you're not familiar with our challenge, we have challenged you to make a project that incorporates people or words and uses soft and stable. It can be flat, it can be a bag, it can be whatever you want. So that's our challenge for January. Make sure that you put a note when you enter the contest to say that it's an entry in the January challenge. And we will pick and announce winners on January 7th, and we really or February 7th. So we can't wait to see what you make. All right, as always, please ask for these patterns and supplies at your local quilt shop. Those shops are such an important part of our sewing and quilting community, and it is up to all of us to keep them strong and vibrant. If they don't have these products, they can certainly get them, either from their favorite distributor or directly from us. We're happy to set up wholesale accounts for qualified stores, so just ask them to contact us for more information. Let's move on now to some special announcements. We have had a number of recent questions about whether we will be vending and teaching at some upcoming shows. Unfortunately, we continue to be extra busy and very short-staffed, so we just don't have the manpower to man a booth and keep things running well here at home. So we made the hard decision to skip some of the shows that we've vended at in the past, and we will not have booths at either Road to California in Ontario, California, which started last night, runs through this weekend, or at Sew Expo in Puyallup, Washington, which will be at the end of February into March. Fortunately, there are some other companies who will be attending those shows who are taking ByAnnie models and supplies, so be sure to stop in and support them. At Road to California, which again starts today and runs through Sunday, we will be represented by Cindy Serena of Custom Creations. Cindy will have models of all of our new patterns, including Courtside and Payday, along with all the hardware to make those. She's also got models of many of our other popular patterns, soft and stable, zippers, mesh, and more. And you will find her in booth number 803 at Road. Cindy will also be vending at the Rusty Barn Show in Phoenix from January 25th to the 27th, where she will be in booths 602 to 605. So be sure to shop early and tell her that Annie sent you. Morgan Moon of Sisters Quilt Shop in Puyallup, Washington, will be displaying a ByAnnie trunk show and carrying ByAnnie products in her booth at Sew Expo in Puyallup, which runs February 29th to March 3rd. Sew Expo was always one of my very favorite shows, so if you have the opportunity to attend, be sure to check it out. It is really a fabulous show. All right, let's move on now to our featured local quilt shop of the week. At ByAnnie, we are all about supporting local quilt shops, and one of our favorite events each year is the Local Quilt Shop Contest, which we celebrate in February. Be sure to tune in next week as we will be announcing the 2024 contest. Voting will start on Local Quilt Shop Day, which is January 27th, so get ready to make your local shop a winner. During the contest, we encourage you to vote for your favorite quilt shop and share a bit about what makes them special, and to continue the fun throughout the year, each week we highlight a store in some of their voters' submissions. So today we are headed to El Cajon, California to visit Cozy Creative Center. Store owner Daniela Stout tells us, "I used to work in a pressure-filled corporate job and always dreamed of owning my own shop. My husband worked as a software engineer and also longed to have his own business. We combined our skills and my passion and took the cozy leap in 2003. While the original goal was very business-oriented with spreadsheets, charts, sales tracking, etc., the best part of owning the business has been the wonderful people associated with the industry. We love our staff and our customers. I am grateful every day for this business, now over 20 years old, because it's my passion and my career. Through Cozy, I was also able to launch our pattern company, Cozy Quilt Designs. At first, I had no idea I could design a pattern, much less write one, but I quickly learned that I had the ability and talent. And these creations took off, with many of them becoming bestsellers. You can find a Cozy pattern, tool, or book in any quilt shop in the U.S. and beyond. It also allowed me to design boutique fabrics for Timeless Treasure. I have to say, I really enjoyed learning Daniela's story. I had the pleasure of talking to her several times over the past week to help her plan her trunk show, and I could definitely tell we were kindred spirits. It was interesting to see how similar our histories are, and I must say that I feel exactly the same way. I am so fortunate that my job is also my passion. When asked about the history of the store, Daniela shared this. Cozy opened over 20 years ago under the name Cozy Quilt Shop in an unincorporated area of San Diego called Rancho San Diego. About 7 years ago, we moved 3 miles down the road into a larger space with much better parking. At that time, we changed our name to Cozy Creative Center. In 2003, we launched our sister company, Cozy Quilt Designs, which publishes best-selling patterns, the amazing strip tube ruler, and a bunch of books, many of which feature pre-cuts, especially 2.5-inch strips. Our store started at 3,300 square feet, but quickly expanded. When we launched Cozy Quilt Designs, we expanded again. About 12 years into the business, we moved to our current location of 7,500 square feet in El Cajon. We love bright fabrics, fun projects, and excuses to share things with our cozy customers. Each month we hold embroidery club and breakfast club to inspire our cozy peeps to do what they love. We also hold strip club regularly. And most Mondays you can watch us live on Facebook for our weekly Monday night live broadcast. We carry machines, Bernina, Brother Handy Quilter, furniture, Horn, Koala, Arrow, and TaylorMade, fabric, Moda, Hoffman, Free Spirit, Island Boutique, Riley Blake, and QT Fabrics, and a plethora of notions, including just about all of the Creative Grids rulers. Customers who voted for Cozy Creative Center in the 2023 LQS contest raved about the store's service and its quality products, reasonable prices, and excellent staff. Diana shared, "From the first time I walked into their shop and every visit thereafter, it was clear that their priority was customer service. They were interested in what I was creating, cared that I found what I needed, and helped with tips. It truly is the best quilt shop. I have severe rheumatoid arthritis and have difficulty carrying things. I came in one day to buy fabric, and before I could say anything, an employee came over and helped me by carrying bolts for me to the counter. Without having said a word or embarrassing me, she simply helped. She understood and cared, and it meant more than she knew." It's going to make me cry. That's an example of the amazing staff, and it's who they are. It's a great story. Linda said, "I've purchased many ByAnnie patterns there, and I love the ones I've made. I still have some to make, but I know I can count on Cozy Creative Center to have just the right products I need to complete them." And Bev added, "It's like coming home to a loving family every time you visit the shop. All the employees are warm, caring, and very knowledgeable. The shop offers many classes and clubs, including the famous Strip Club." Daniela, the shop owner, is recognized worldwide for her quilt designs and keeps abreast of the latest trends. It is my go-to shop. As I said earlier, we just shipped Cozy Creative Center a good-sized ByAnnie trunk show and lots of product. Daniela asked for our best sellers and product to go with it, so we shipped them almost 24 models and a good supply of zippers, hardware, soft and stable, mesh, fold-over elastic, and more. The models include several made with Tula Pink's latest line, Roar, which will be out later this year, including the fabulous Courtside that features the T-Rex. They also got some gorgeous batik and cork models to wow you. So if you're in California and have wanted to see ByAnnie models up close and personal and get everything you need for your project, this is your chance. They will have the trunk show on display until the end of February, and they're also having some special events next week. So this coming Monday, January 22nd, they're going to show the models on their MNL Monday Night Live broadcast. And from January 25th to the 27th, they will be holding Road at Home, an in-shop booth with demos, new fabric, new kits, and show specials. So be sure to stop in and check it out and tell them Annie sent you. Thank you again to everyone who joined us today. We will be back next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time with another inspiring episode of Live with Annie. We're going to be joined by the amazing Amy Henley of Material Girls Quilt Boutique in La Plata, Maryland. Amy is going to share tips for incorporating embroidery into your ByAnnie projects. You will not want to miss it, so mark your calendar now and tell your friends. And until then, happy stitching!